Good morning and welcome to the morning show. We probably all know people, either at work or in our personal lives, who are really good listeners. No matter what kind of situation we are in, they always seem to know just what to say and how to say it, so that we're not offended or upset. Those people are masters at managing their emotions. They don't get angry in stressful situations. They're excellent decision makers, and regardless of their strengths, however, they're willing to look at themselves honestly. People like this have a high degree of emotional intelligence. So what is emotional intelligence? How do we measure it? Why is it becoming such an important topic? To answer those questions, I'm pleased to speak to Rana Saleh, a certified emotional intelligence coach and a certified executive coach. Good morning, Rana, and thanks a lot for joining us.
Good morning, Tarek. Thank you.
Okay. So, Rana, I think let's start by how can we simply define what we mean by emotional intelligence?
Emotional intelligence is simply bringing some logic into your emotions, meaning you can use both your emotions and your thinking and what you've learned to come up with the best decisions in life, because we cannot not feel.
Yeah, so it's about understanding our emotions and others' emotions as well?
Absolutely, and managing those.
And managing them?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Ours and others.
Yeah, yeah. And we hear a lot about emotions and feelings. Is there a difference or are they the same words?
Well, in one of the studies, actually, they did decide that there is a difference, that the emotion is like when you suddenly say, I'm hungry, because your body decided that you're hungry. That's the emotion. That is something in the body. That is something physiological, right? But if you stay hungry and not get some food and remain hungry, and then you start getting angry, and then it turns into a feeling of hunger,
Right.
which lingered longer than the 6 seconds of an emotion.
Okay.
The emotion is just a short period of time.
Okay. And when did emotional intelligence start? When did it become such a big buzz?
Well, the term itself started in 1990.
Ah, okay. So it's not that old.
Not
then.
that old,
Okay.
no. But the term of emotional intelligence,
Okay.
it was built on so many studies
Right.
that were done before, and then they decided to use the name emotional intelligence or the
Okay.
term emotional intelligence in 1990. Peter Salovey and John Mayer, and it was really popularized by the book of Daniel Goleman in 1995.
Daniel Goleman.
Yes.
1995.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And we hear a lot, about, and I think the main focus earlier before this emotional intelligence became such a big buzz about the word IQ or intelligence quotient.
Yes.
So what's the difference between IQ or intelligence quotient and emotional intelligence, which is like EQ? Is there a difference or are they interacting? So can you clarify that?
They are interacting, and there is a difference. It's
Okay.
both answers. IQ mostly deals with how you resolve a mathematical issue,
Yeah.
right? However, when we come to business or we come to work, how would you influence your people? Is all about emotional intelligence, and leadership is all about influence,
Okay.
right? So
Okay. So you might have people, for example, who maybe their IQ is not very high. However, if their emotional intelligence is high, they'll
Absolutely.
be maybe more successful.
absolutely yes,
Okay.
absolutely
That's
yes. Because
really
understanding people and understanding yourself and knowing how to manage around that,
yeah. Okay.
what more would I want?
Yeah. Because maybe I have a very high IQ, but maybe I'm not able to influence people or to understand others' emotions. So
Or work with them.
or work with them, exactly.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I know that IQ can be measured. Yeah,
Yes.
there are a lot of tests and all that.
Yes.
But can we measure emotional intelligence?
Yes, there are a lot of tests as well right
Really?
now. Yeah, they
Okay.
came up with a lot of tests. Yes.
So how does it work like? I mean, so it's a online test or how do we do that?
Mostly online tests, right? And it gets measured, and then they send you the feedback of which competency that you need to work on in your emotional intelligence, because there are there are domains in emotional intelligence, categories and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And it will tell you at the end is it like in different levels or so?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Which part of it you're good at already, or which part you can develop or work more, and which part that not so good, so you really need to be careful with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is emotional intelligence something that we're born with or it's a skill that we can acquire?
Well, it's both. Some people never heard about emotional intelligence, never read a book about it,
Yeah.
and they're simply of the best people in
They have
emotional
this
intelligence.
charisma
They
or-
have they have that thing.
Mm.
They have that thing. Others know about it, read about it, they're born with it.
Mm-hmm.
However, they worked more on it, so they
Okay.
developed it and they became
So
better.
it's a skill that can be developed.
Absolutely,
Okay,
yes.
which is
so
good.
it's both.
Yeah.
Some people are just born with it. Some people learn it.
Mm.
Only if you want to, of course.
So this is very important
Of
that you have
course.
this.
Want.
You have this want inside.
Yes.
So I mean, so if I do the EQ test or emotional intelligence test, and maybe I feel that I don't have it high as I wish or so, I can work on improving that.
Yes. Training, coaching, reading more, getting feedback from someone you trust,
Right.
someone who knows that, and someone who would want your best.
Okay.
Like getting a coach or something. I don't like it.
And I know that emotional intelligence is like focusing on like 4 categories or 4 domains. Can you explain them briefly, and if you could give us some examples as well?
Yes, with pleasure. Actually, it starts with self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Self-awareness is the basic building block of almost everything in life, not just emotional intelligence.
Okay. So like.
Awareness of how I feel right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was talking about hunger a moment ago. Another thing is being aware of my patterns. Meaning, every time someone comes near me or steps on my foot, I just punch them.
Right.
And then I regret. And then I feel bad. And right, this is a behavioral pattern.
Yeah. But at least I'm aware about myself.
Absolutely.
So that's the first one. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
and that's just an example. I don't punch people, so
Yeah.
anyways. So that's being aware of how you react in situations,
Right.
so that you can manage them, which brings us to the second part,
Mhm.
which is self-management.
Okay.
As long as I regret punching people, so why would I do it? So it's managing, knowing why
Okay.
am I doing it, the triggers behind it and everything, and then managing that.
Right.
Managing that as well means not to really wait for motivation from outside.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to motivate yourself.
Okay.
Accordingly, when you're motivated, you would be eager to understand others, which brings us to
So
the
this
social
comes
awareness.
to the other part. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
So the social awareness here, when you're aware of people around you, understanding that how they feel, having that thing called empathy,
Right.
which is being present in someone else's feelings,
Yeah. Okay.
not just being in their shoes, right?
Yeah.
So feeling for them, understanding how they feel, knowing that you would have reacted differently, but you're not them,
Mm-hmm.
right? And accordingly, managing your relationships better. So these are the 4
Okay.
domains.
So it's the self
Self-awareness.
and others as well. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And since I mean, as I mentioned in the intro, I mean, we talk a lot about emotional intelligence and all, and it's become a big buzz. So how can it help in our professional growth or careers?
I would answer that with one line, actually. Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And influence is emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
So growing a career, growing business, growing anything would need good leadership, actually excellent leadership.
Okay.
And leadership is influence. It's all about influence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we spoke about feelings. So are there any tools that you can use to measure, for example, how I'm feeling right now?
Yes, there is a very interesting tool that was developed by Yale University. They have a Center for Emotional Intelligence. It's called the Mood Meter.
Mood meter.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it gives me
It gives you a glimpse of the mood meter goes in 2 axes, right? And it's like energy and pleasantness.
energy and pleasantness.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it goes from -5 to +5 and from -5 to +5. So being highly energetic today is like you want to get up and run around the studio, right? And being on the very low part, it's like I need a double cappuccino or a double espresso or a triple one or whatever, so to wake up. Pleasantness, it's like this is the like if it's -5, this is the worst day of my life, right? And if you're happy, I've never had a wonderful day just like this one, right? So you measure that, and with them you decide on which quadrant you are. The quadrants are 4 because they're measured with the pleasantness up to +5, and then there is the 0 in the middle.
So we have 4 quadrants.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. So if you're sad, your energy is down and your pleasantness is down, right? If you're in a reflective status, you want to write, you're okay with pleasantness, but there's no energy.
Yeah.
If you're angry,
Mm.
energy is high,
Yeah.
pleasantness is low.
Mm.
These are the people I look for when I'm doing a training. It's like
Mm.
that scares me just to run away. So yes, we measure this, and it helps a lot in so many places that this has been used. Schools actually, believe it or not, but not in Egypt.
Okay.
So yeah.
So I think that's very important because I know that a lot of our viewers might be parents or teachers. So the question is this an important topic as well for kids?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So are there any schools who educate emotional intelligence?
In the States, yes.
In the States.
They actually started a curriculum for KG as well. Like, I mean, they start that early.
Really?
Yeah.
KG?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did it show any impact on their performance or their grades or?
There was that wonderful example
Mhm.
of a child who was in maybe 3rd grade or 2nd grade, something like that. And 2 kids, they had a fight. One bullied the other actually. And a year later, they had this curriculum and they were studying that, and then he went to the other kid that he bullied and he apologized to him in front of everybody, and they hugged and they cried, and it was,
Wow.
yeah. I
That's
mean,
really impressive.
they learned a lot, and it was a year
And I
year
think
later.
kids are expressive in their emotions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, so it's being done in the States, but here, for example, in Egypt, it's quite difficult, to change our curriculums or so. Is there any simple way that teachers can use to teach this topic to their students in a
Yes.
very simple way? What can they do?
There's the mood meter that we just spoke
Yeah.
about. You can hang it on the wall, and when you arrive to class in the morning, just let us know how do you feel.
So that you ask the kids to share how they feel.
Exactly. You
Okay.
can use the faces and the emoticons
just
and
a very simple.
just a very simple drawing.
Yeah.
Draw how you feel today, right? And just let each other know.
And I know you do a lot of training and coaching. So who are your clients mainly? Is it adults or kids, or you deal with both?
Mainly adults.
Yeah.
Well, I did deal with kids as well. So
And which ones are easier to deal with?
okay, there's easier and there's more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Easier adults, because they're going to training, they're paying money,
Yeah.
and they want to learn, and
Yeah.
you want to give that image of being there. However, more genuine, more interesting, more challenging kids, they were awesome and amazing, seriously. Yeah.
And when you do the training, do you see an improvement, talking short term, of people's emotional intelligence, or it takes like a long duration to change?
I've seen both.
Right.
The ones who wanted
Mm-hmm.
attended a seminar with me and for like 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
And we're talking adults here.
Yeah.
And one of them just came after the seminar, and she looked at me and she said, I feel that I am changing right now. And I was
in
like,
a few hours. Yeah.
yeah.
And it's again back to the point that you mentioned earlier. It's all about coming from inside. So I need to have this inner thing that I really want to
Absolutely,
change.
because it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
not easy. It's doable. It's not easy. And we need to have the desire, the burning desire to
Okay.
do that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for viewers who are interested to know more about emotional intelligence, are there any topics that you would like to mention, or books or readings that they can do?
There is the book that I mostly look at is the Emotional Intelligence 2.0.
Emotional Intelligence 2.0.
Yeah, that's an interesting, and it gives an assessment, by the way. Like you scratch at the
okay.
back and it gives you an online assessment. You go
Right.
and you
Okay,
check
so
your...
you can do all
yeah.
of the mood meter and the 4 quadrants.
Not that one, not the mood
Right.
meter. They do the whole self-assessment
Okay.
thing. It's
and it
a
gives
longer...
you an accurate kind of
Absolutely,
perception.
absolutely. And you do it 6 months later again to measure the difference.
Yeah.
They tell you what to work on and what to not
Yeah.
to work. It's like the strength thing,
Okay.
like the strength finder and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Rana, I know you're a big fan of quotes. So, is there any quote, your favorite quote, to end our discussion with?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's when dealing with people, let us remember that we're not dealing with creatures of logic. We are dealing with creatures of emotions.
Wow.
That's Daniel Goleman.
Yeah.
Oh
wow.
no, I'm sorry. That's Dale Carnegie.
Dale Carnegie.
Dale
yeah.
Carnegie.
Yeah. Wow, what an impressive quote to end the show with.
Thank you.
So, thanks a lot, Rana, for coming. It's
Thank
been
you,
a
Tarek.
pleasure having you. Thanks a lot for watching us. I know, I'm sure we learned a lot today about emotional intelligence. And we'll see you tomorrow at 9:30. Thank you.